you step on board, you're like, what, 18 years old?
17 when I said something.
17, is that a big thing?
For me, the owners is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're in the world. For us, it's Saturday morning, and I'm here with Max. Good morning, Max.
Hey, Arno, nice to be here.
And welcome to the first episode of Crew Chronicles. And Max volunteered. Well, not really. We kind of like forced you to sit down and talk to us, didn't we?
I'm happy to be part of the first episode.
Yeah. So, Max, do you mind introducing yourself shortly, just like for people to know who you are?
Of course. So my name's Max. I'm born and raised on the islands. I have foreign parents. My dad is English. My mother is Italian. That's why I sound English. And yeah, grew up here, went to school here, and I ended up into yachts and somehow. And yeah.
Well, let's get to that story. By the way, the island he's referring to is Mallorca, because we're recording on Mallorca. No, but well, everybody thinks that like the place to be, because that's where we are, right, Max? The place to be. So no, because it's a good story, right? So people don't like. You've been in yachting for 10 odd years, more or less.
I've been living here my whole life, but I've been yachting for 10 years.
Yeah, and then like, so tell me the story. Like, so went to school here. Probably all your mates went up to uni, and what did you decide to do?
Yeah, so after school, the school offered us a work experience program, and I got a list of all the places that the school offered to go, and I looked at every single one, and I was like, don't want to do that. And I remember telling my dad about this, and he knew the owner of a marina down in Palma, and so I went and did 2 weeks there as the work experience, and then I ended up being there the entire summer. And then when the job was over, I managed to flag down a boat, and I first did a delivery, and then went on there, got on for the winter in the yacht, and then from then, well, the rest is history.
So you basically started as, like, as we say in Spain, as a marinero. Like, what's that like? What's the word in English?
Marinero, a line handler, I guess.
Line handler, is that like so on the docks, like in which is now called Molvel, right?
Yeah, now it's called Molvel.
Yeah, cool. And then basically stepped on the boat.
Exactly, yeah. I started, first was an 80-footer, started on deck, as a sole decky, and then, kind of worked my way up a little bit in the industry.
Yeah, because you're an engineer now.
Right now, yes.
Yeah, so for how long? So I can imagine, like, you step on board, you're like, what, 18 years old?
17 when I stepped on.
17 when you stepped on that. So you did probably did your SCCWs and everything, like
yeah, not until a lot later, but yeah.
Oh, you got on illegally.
Yeah.
You did them later. That's a good story. We were like, I think it's like it's 10 years now, right? That you'll be fine.
Yeah, I definitely have it now.
You know? And then deckhand and.
I was a deckhand, and then I went on to different boats, and I worked my way up to bosun, and then first mate on some boats, and then. Yeah, and then I kind of got more and more interested in the engineering route, and then I got into that, really.
So what made you decide that this was your career? Because that's a question that a lot of yachties ask me. It's like, okay, I'm stepping on board, I did my courses, become a deckhand or S2 or whatever I want to do. But when did you decide it was a career for you?
Well, it's not really a decision that I made. I mean, I knew a lot of people that did it, like my mum and dad did it years ago, and I've always liked the idea of it. But I kind of just, obviously working in the docks, I just kind of fell into it, and then it was something that I really enjoyed, so I just thought I'd stick with it.
And now 10 years later, you're still there.
Yeah, exactly.
So you deckhand, bosun, first officer, then obviously the big decision of going captain route, and you choose the engineer route.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember what it was exactly, but I remember helping an engineer fix something, and I just found it a lot more rewarding than making something shiny, if that makes sense. That's a kind of.
Well, I think it's a personal decision, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But like, what did you have to do to become an engineer then?
Well, there's lots of courses that a lot of companies offer, actually, just to do short courses. Yeah, you start with the small ones, there's little 5-day ones, and then you get onto the modules ones,
And you chose sailing vessels.
Yes.
Or did the sailing vessels choose you?
I'd say a bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never actually been on a powerboat. I've been told I should, though. A lot more space, a lot more money.
Is it more money on a powerboat?
More money, more space.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always just stuck with sailboats. I like sailing. I'm a sailor since I was a child. So I love sailing. So I'll just stick with it.
Yeah, but that's cool. So, do you think you'll ever get on a powerboat?
Maybe. I mean, if the right job comes, and there's the right crew and the right owners, that's the most important thing. Then yeah, possibly.
Because there's a lack of engineers. You're in a quite fortunate position, aren't you?
I think right now there's a big demand in it.
Yeah. So you're good. He looks very comfortable to me as well. So for the people that are just listening to us and not looking at the video, he's smiling, he's grinning, he is comfortable. Max is okay. Yeah. So what's next? It's like engineer and are you sole engineer or do you have a team?
Yeah, so I was second engineer on some bigger boats, and then I kind of reached the end of my path on that job, I guess I could say, and now I've stepped up to, it's a smaller boat, but I'm kind of running my own show thing. Yeah, I'm sold, but it's just me. Yeah. Good.
And is there ambition to be chief on a big one?
I think so, eventually. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the real reason I got into engineering at the beginning was because I wanted to, and the idea of running a smaller boat, like a 90-footer, just as have one or two crew, like a couple, for example, then I could do the captain engineering. Yeah. So I was thinking, I could just learn a little bit about engineering, and then I already knew about the deck, so then I could be like the whole package and run a boat. But now I'm kind of looking into, getting up, doing the courses and being an engineer on bigger boats. Okay,
that's exciting. Yeah. You said something interesting just like a minute ago. You said I'll be open for a bigger boat if it's the right owner and the right crew. Is that a big thing?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the owners is the biggest thing. Yeah. Really, because obviously then the package they'll offer you, or because you spend most of your time with them. Yeah. And if they're not the nicest people, then you don't really feel like you're being there. I don't want to be treated as staff. I want to be like a friend of the people who own the boat, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But do you think more people should look at that more to who are you working for?
I mean, it depends if you're just in the industry for the money, or if you're in it, just if you want to make it as an actual career. A lot of people just do it for a year, then it doesn't really matter what boat you go on. You just make a ton of cash and then duck out. Whereas if you want to make an actual career, I think it matters a lot, what the owners are like.
Well, I think as well, if you want to make a career out of anything, you need to choose your pathway, right? It's and that means if you're doing that in the outside world, you choose which companies do I work for, which positions do I have, who do I work for. Same goes on a vessel, I would say, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I would wish more people would take that, take that into consideration. It's great. So, we're going to go a little bit deeper, because I've got a few theories I wanted to check with you. And I don't know if I'm right, I can be completely wrong. Okay. And guys, if I'm talking complete nonsense, just put it in the comments. I'm happy to learn. But somehow an engineer always has a special position on board.
It's a very important position on board. I mean, a boat is not exactly like a house, I mean, a boat it's a big machine. Everything is electronic or moving parts, or a lot of the thing needs maintenance.
So they're quite dependent on you. But if I speak to crew and I ask them who's your favorite person on board, a lot of them say the engineer.
It's mostly because we fix all their.
No, but it cannot be because you only fix things. Yeah. There's I don't know. There's this this, and then I hear it a lot, and I could be completely wrong. So, but I hear a lot of people that they confide in their engineer. It's most engineers are quite obviously you're a very extrovert engineer, right? You're out there. You could have chosen any direction but you choose to be an engineer. But I do see that. Do you notice that? Do you notice anything like that?
I do a little bit. I mean, it's the most. I think it's one of the most liked positions on board. Obviously, apart from the chef and the stewards.
Oh yeah, we love the chefs. Well, yes, we love the chefs.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, we don't work with a bigger team as the deck crew, so you're not trying to, overstep. We would know our positions on board, so we keep. And again, we have our. I think it's because mostly we have our personal space, so we can go down to the engine room and hide away if everyone's kind of being a bit.
Does that help?
Very much so, yeah. If you're with a big crew and, sometimes you just need 10 minutes just to cool off, you could just hide down in the engine room or in the office. And
no one will come down and you're just it's you and
yeah.
Because I like engine rooms, right? I like the noise of it, and like it's got something. It's got something nostalgic to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, what's the coolest sailing vessel you've been on? For you, or not worked with, like, wow, that's like that from an engineering perspective, not from a design perspective. Like what?
Well, one of the coolest boats, as from an engineering perspective, they've worked on is right now. I'm on a hybrid boat, which is a diesel electric.
Really?
Electric propulsion. Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Well, it's something I've never really worked with before because it doesn't have an engine.
No.
It's basically just a big motor.
Yeah.
That propels the boat. And obviously we have 2 generators that charge the batteries and everything. But and then we're working with solar powered awnings and it's like a hybrid kind of zero emissions. Not quite zero emissions, but so that's one of the coolest things I've.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. I should have started with that if I would have known that. It's like so. Because how many crew do you have on board then?
That's 5 crew, yeah.
5 crew. How many guests?
We can have up to 8 guests.
Okay, so it is hard work. It's like,
of course, yeah.
Is it different to run a boat like that from an engineering perspective? I mean, a boat is a boat, but they would say
I mean, no, it's not necessarily different. I mean, the engine system is different, but all boats have the same systems. Basically, it's just the sewage treatment system, a generator system, air conditioning, and various others. But the only one with this one is. Yeah, the electric engine, which is strange. I mean,
so your most important role is to make sure that battery is full.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And what's different because it's not like because she's hybrid, so you do fuel her as well, right? Or not?
Yeah, we have to fuel, but we only carry 5,000 liters of fuel, and we have to fuel every 6 months or something.
Honestly,
it's crazy. Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, and we're trying to. The owner's quite. He's very interested in his zero emission thing, so he's funding new solar power technologies.
Yeah.
He's going to put solar panels in the sails.
Really?
And we can also generate power. So when we're sailing, it's called regeneration.
Yes.
So and that creates power.
Because I heard about that a few years ago already. Where we're testing the whole regeneration thing. So it's working.
Yeah. Oh, very well. Much better than solar power, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say that regeneration is a big thing, like for the future? Because if you can regenerate energy, that obviously is the holy grail of energy provision, right?
Of course. I mean, I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think even there's new designs coming out at the moment that I've seen that they're just the propellers that come down like bow and stern thrusters.
Yeah.
And they just sit there, even when you're at anchor with a bit of current. Yeah. It just sits there constantly. Even when you're motoring, it would just a separate propeller, doesn't create any drag.
Okay.
And it just sits there and constantly generates power. I think that would be the new way forward with hybrid boats.
Well, that's interesting because that means that engineers will need to start looking into those new techniques because, as you say, it's like, well,
of course,
it's a completely different ball game.
Yeah, no, of course. There's all these. There's a lot of new courses that have come out this year about high voltage courses for the batteries and the motors, and so the industry is keeping up with the new design to the boats.
Okay. So just go further. So you have solar panels on board, right?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously that requires a certain amount, different kind of like maintenance as well from deck crew because you don't scrub a solar panel.
No, of course. Well, we have them on the awnings at the moment.
Yeah.
And there's these new ones that MAT have just developed, and so especially they're quite easy. They're very flexible, and stuff. But they're just coated in plastic, and they're clear, so you can't really see them. And then you just put the awning up, and you plug it into the mast, goes down to the inverter, and straight to the battery bank.
That easy.
These days, yeah.
God, Max is living the life. Max is living the life. I think. Is there anything else we need to talk about, Max? Because we're constantly touching on new topics. And I'm just like I was just interested in this young bloke that stepped on a boat at 17, decided to become an engineer, and now at the end we're talking hybrid vessels and like the future of energy and the fact that you can hide in your engine room if anything happens, and that the crew, that you're probably the most favorite person on board by both the owner and the crew. So. Yeah. Guys, become engineers, that's what I say.
I say. There's a lack of them at the moment, so really think about it.
Cool. Well, I think this was the best first episode I could have wished for.
Perfect.
So thank you so much, Max. This is Crew Chronicles. Stay tuned. Episode 2 coming soon. Thank you, Max.
Thank you.